Everyone, and welcome back. So I'm laying on the sofa as usual. It is a Sunday morning and the sun is out, so that's why I'm staying indoors, because I'm a bit of a vampire. And I thought today I'd do a quick little unboxing video for you, and of course it is from my newest pickup of The Descent Part 2, and it is a beautiful Lionsgate release, as you can see, and it does match up pretty well with the first film. And what I will be doing at the end of the video is I will be doing a side-by-side so you can have a proper look at it. And I got my good friend Daniel to import this for me. He also imported the first film. And not only that, he did throw in the replacement disc for Leprechaun. So that is finally fixed. And the colour palette for the original 4K was not great, it's one of those things, sometimes you get quality control issues, that sort of thing, but hopefully they have fixed it for this. And yeah, he did import actually both these steelbooks for me. I didn't actually know they're actually going to bring out the original film on 4K in the UK, the steelbook and everything, but here we are. So that's sorted. So I've now officially got both Lionsgate releases, so I'm pretty chuffed about that. And I was sort of looking at the history of the film the other night, because I was sort of curious, because I don't actually hate the sequel. It just has a few little problems that I don't like, and I think a lot of people at the time didn't like. It came out in 2009. You did get what's her name, Paula McDonald. I think that's how you say her name. She played Sarah in the original film. She's back, and it literally takes place moments after the first film, and it does sort of keep those themes to sort of Paula, Sarah's sort of PTSD, the sort of things she's going through. And yeah, it's they go back to the cave and everything. Not sure why you'd want to go back in there, but they sort of do. I think to sort of look for any survivors or anything. And yeah, you got the crawlers back. They're sort of more intimidating. They sort of got darker skin, more camouflage, and it does sort of introduce sort of a chieftain type of crawler, which is sort of an interesting choice. And Neil Marshall, who directed the first film, he did not return for the sequel. He was the executive producer, but he he didn't want to return because he just thought it was quite unnecessary. But I guess money talks and everything, because he did become executive producer. So they actually got the editor for the first film to direct this one. So quite an interesting choice, but I think he done a pretty good job. It's just, a smaller budget film, and I think it does work quite well. And I did sort of sit down to check out the 4K for maybe about half an hour or so. And yeah, it is definitely an improvement over the Blu-ray, because I got the Future Pack in my room, and it does really use that Dolby Vision quite well. The black levels, and they've got a nice inky black to them, and I don't think it looks out of place at any time. And of course it doesn't have the Dolby audio track that it did on the first film, but it does use the 5.1, which I think is pretty good still. Dialogue is crystal clear throughout. You got the sound, dripping and everything from inside the cave, so I think it does use it pretty well, so I've got no problems with that at all. But yeah, as I said, it's just not as good as the first film, but I still like it. So what I will do is I'll leave a link in the description to this, so you can pick up if you want to, especially if you live in the US, because to import this is just crazy. It's just crazy money. I mean, I was sort of looking on eBay earlier, and the cheapest item I can actually find is around £60. So yeah, I would never pay that. I think everything, including importing, I think it was about 38, so not too fussed about that. So again, a big thank you to Daniel. I'll probably give him another thank you at the end of the video. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight on the unboxing. Right, so here we go, The Descent 2. I never thought I'd actually have the sequel to the first film on 4K Steelbook, but here we are. So just going to do a little rip on there, and hopefully not dig it into the slit too much, because that would be disastrous. So you get the cellophane off, and I will take you through the back. So yeah, you got a little write-up about the film, and it just tells you about the character and everything, how she's getting out of the cave and everything. And you got quite a few special features as well, which actually are included on the 4K disc, I believe. I think you can get it separate on the Blu-ray. But yeah, you got a decent amount there. And from what I remember, I don't think this had a different ending or anything, not like the first film. I think you had the UK and you had the US cut. And this is the Lionsgate Limited releases. So you've got a few little interviews there, which is separate from any release you can get for the film. And technical aspects, you've got Dolby Vision. So I think the first film had Atmos. No, it didn't have audio, but I imagine it's going to still be pretty good, because I think, from what I remember, the Blu-ray on the sound quality wasn't amazing anyway, so I'm not really too fussed about that. But yeah, it's a beautiful looking slipcover, as you can see. So The Descent Part 2, and that is the side of it. You've got the other side there. So yeah, let's remove the slip. And I think the eyes on the back move as well. So yeah, and the little cave part there moves too. So it's very familiar with the first film. So open the Steelbook up, and you have got your digital code. So feel free to use that if you want. You know, pause the video and everything. And I think we'll have a look at the Blu-ray first. So yeah, sort of sunlight coming out the cave there. You know, it reminds me a lot of the first film. So you've got some beautiful artwork on there, and that is your disc for the second film. And I think it is very similar to the first one too. I think they had that sort of image in there as well, but we'll have a look in a minute. So that is your interior artwork, and you've got the sort of rat going out the woman's mouth. So very nice sight. And turn it over, and that is the front and the back of the Steelbook. So you've got the crawler there, you've got Sarah there on one side. It's a nice glossy one. I think it's a little bit different to the first film, but still, it's pretty nice. You know, I think it's a beautiful looking Steelbook, you know, especially when it comes to Lionsgate releases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the first Steelbook as well, so you can have a good look at that. So you've got the slip cover as well. You've got the crawler, which again had a very similar theme with the first one, and the disc. So I did think that it did have the same artwork as the second one, you know, with the crawler mouth and everything, but they don't actually have it in here, so it is quite a bit different. You know, it's just the fact that it's not really a wraparound. I think if you count the dark and everything, you could sort of think that, but you know, they're trying to do something a little bit different, a little bit more simplistic as well. But overall, I actually really like the design on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Steelbook side by side, so you can have a proper look at that if you're thinking about purchasing. So yeah, the writing on this second film is a little bit smaller, I think because I had the cram in the part 2 as well, but still it's pretty nice, and I wouldn't mind if the writing was a bit longer as well, but it's just one of those things. But you know, what can you do? So yeah, that is the Steelbook for part 2, and of course I will leave a link in the description to this, and obviously give another shout out to Daniel for importing this for me. So yeah, very happy. So yeah, I will see you again, and goodbye.